This is a good thing I realized. Thank you. That's supposed to be to friend. Yes. I'm not sure you have to do it. It's everyone. It's edible and it's Christmas. Most positives is more than the wall. What is what you put down? They see that. She's a professional. I thought it was
You have to admit, when I go to the gas station, there's a treat, so I took the research right with me. It's amazing. Really.
well, it's a team. I did most of the work.
I want you to leave your comments.
Well, what?
This one, you're really true.
I'm sure. Person out of the state.
Mistake.
Nice one. Good. 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 How long have you been alive?
It's actually being true in Missouri.
It's something for me to reach. No, shit. What they're begging is
Jackie, it was not a perfect game. I got himself in a bit of trouble. It was a lot of trouble. There's no point perfect game. Unfortunately, there was only great.
no rules. Higher interactions.
Yes.
What would you like to ask?
This is hard to say. She was the one designated to be with me. It was only clear in her actions and course.
So, why live until now?
But I know where I can live. It's
Shall we ask the dress up, please? Yes. What's wrong with you? You want to break this to you? Sure, nice. It's a good one. When you jump with fire, it's like virtually again. Raise the question of shots. Where is one? I can't learn research questions. Bingo.
What? Oh, it's still up.
What you consider? And I
Well, you're not afraid? Huh?
this is the
It's funny. So,
What do you mean?
I don't think we're good. Maybe.
Guys, it was so good. So, see you outside. Yeah, standard class was second. First of all, technically, secondly, you were in the
Oh, now you're talking about so what you watching? The other that? What? Oh, yeah, I'm about to cut that shit out. Yeah, what I do? Where the fuck that yellow lighter go that fast? Yeah, the lighter.
drugs.
It's okay. I'm not going to speak. This experience. It's supposed to tell me these places.
Baby skincare with ceramides mimics physiological lipids and supports natural homeostasis, making for a more resistant barrier to things such as toxins, infections, and antigens.
Now we all know Progressive offers 24/7 protection, but we also bundle with things. Hold on. It's better than that presentation. Whether it's a fraction or a decimal, it's still fun. You know?
Waters, just like you stand yourself. This fits right in here. Pushes in. Locks. Okay, well, power's off. Now we can tie the circuit.
Look at that, I told you, man. You done with this?
That's a GFCI protector. The circuitry in here
What?
monitors electricity anytime the electricity goes unexpectedly.
Oh, yeah, I'm watching it.
It shuts it off.
You
You can build the
turn it
same
out.
exact circuitry into a breaker. This breaker protects the whole circuit going outside. Water shuts right
What
off.
the milk at?
That's very cool.
What?
Let's wire it up.
What did you say? No, take it out.
All right, this pool has a lot of metal. It has the top rail that's metal. It has these supports
What?
right here. And for electrical
What? I just
safety,
said
you have to bond
Jesus.
everything together that's metal. And you do that. Well, we
I'm
have these
telling you,
metal
bro,
rollers
go.
right here. And we use
Why
this
are you making this something I don't have to be
solid
here?
copper wire. We run around the whole pool around 18 to 24 inches off the ground.
Oh, I like to let you say that. Oh, I fucking kick you down there.
So we run a bond around and down 3 or 4 points. So we get the motor picked up. Plastic, bond together. So inside this is stainless steel plate.
People ugly, sleep ugly, wake up ugly, you ugly. Hey, listen, I'll grab your face. Shut up.
Looks like you have your first swimmer. Electrical
Sorry, you
inspector
laughing
signed
now.
off, everything's signed off, ready to go. You're ready for your first pool party.
This weekend, bring your suit.
I will. I'll see you then.
Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it.
You got it, man.
Next time, ask this old house. Out with the old and in with the new. We're gonna transform the front of this house so it's not only beautiful, but edible.
This ever happened to you? You go to take a shower and you end up taking a bath. It's like you need to clear a drain.
And what do you do if you need to fix a hole in your vinyl siding? I'll show you.
And it's red or white, made of rubber. What is it? I don't know. Today, ask this old house. Out with the old and in with the new. We're gonna transform the front of this house so it's not only beautiful, but edible.
This ever happened to you? You go to take a shower and you end up taking a bath. Looks like you need to clear a drain.
And what do you do if you need to fix a hole in your vinyl siding? I'll show you.
And it's red or white, made of rubber. What is it?
I can live this with you. I can live this with you. Can you?
And I can even fix him. Whoop-dee-doo. Yeah.
Get him right. That's next on Ask This Old House.
Morning, Haley.
Hi, Roger. Thank you for coming to my house.
Oh, nice to be here.
Thanks.
You have a house here?
Yeah, it's somewhere back there. Yeah, we're renovating this house. We bought it about 6 months ago. We're running into a few issues, especially these bushes. I actually tried to take them out myself, and I got a little bit in. About an hour later, the law process broke. So, I'm asking for your help.
You got my phone down there?
A plan called the UYEW, Scientific
What?
Taxes.
You got my phone on down there?
Back in the day, big long
Yeah, why?
Yeah,
Why?
in one variety, you actually provides a chemical that's used in chemotherapy.
Really?
But right now, these plants, which are probably 50 or 60 years old, are just too big for this spot. And there's no way I can cut this back and put this all in inside. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to cut these, take them out, give you a whole landscape in the front of your house.
That sounds great.
But we're going to get some equipment and get to work.
All right.
This is going to be a dangerous job. stop removing these plants because we're using a lot heavier equipment than a set of lockers that we're using this chainsaw. Anytime we have chainsaw in use, we need safety protection. We're going to make it have eye protection, screen to protect your face from big debris coming down, and hearing protection. Now you're all set to go. I'm going to be running the saw, so I have on these protective chaps to protect me in case the saw ever kicks back. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start in where you made a hole for me, and I'm going to cut out some branches. I'm going to shut the saw down, and I'm going to toss it out to you. I want you to stay back well out of the way until I tell you to come in and drag them over behind you.
Okay.
You ready to go?
Yes, I'm ready.
Back out a little bit for me. I'm going to cut these branches out one by one to clear an area to work. All right, now this one's down to the height I want to flush it out. Before I do that, I want to cut down the other.
Okay.
I wanted you to take a peek out there. Before we do any work in a yard, we always call the utility locating system. Find out where the utilities are. In this case, you can see this yellow line, gas line running into your house. So when we're doing some digging out here, we've got to be a little careful in that area.
Okay.
Ready to cut up the other one?
Yep.
You're all excited. Let's go.
Move.
Now, the easiest and most economical way to do this stuff is to flush cut it as low as we can. Let it be. We can plant around it. We could bring in a bobcat or a vacuum to take it out, but that'd be pretty costly. If we go to the gas line running underneath our other let's flush cut these and then we're ready to plant right.
All right, great.
Paramount Plus has some big news. If you're ready to go, discover more at a lower price. Over 1,000 viewers just added. Good times. Plus 30,000 episodes of exclusive features. Show you the honor. Live sports. Breaking news. Why do this at stake here? And a fountain of entertainment.
This is yes, we're doing it like that.
Now streaming at a lower price. Paramount Plus.
You never know who's going to walk through that door.
I'm Stephen Cole. We follow up on every case and every number. And how are you? Thanks so much.
Let's talk a little bit about the plants. Now, the biggest thing I always tell everyone is the right plant in the right spot. Give them room to grow. The biggest mistake people make is planting everything too close together. They don't give them a chance to develop into really nice plants. Hybrid. We get blueberries during the season, and then in the fall it gets a vivid red color. So it's going to be a nice place.
So nice.
Now you got a big wall back here, so I wanted to make sure that we had some evergreens to try to hide it. This is a holly, but it's not an upright, it's a spread. And the thing I like to do with these is to take clippings off these right before Christmas. It doesn't put a glare, it's just decorations. Over here we have what's called a butterfly bush. This is wood there. I love putting these in the garden. Everyone loves to see the butterflies come. Over here we have a little mounding plant called spirea. It's going to make a great mound here that'll be full of pink flowers in the spring.
Great.
And I love to use daylilies. Most daylilies you only use bloom once, but I like to use rebloomer. This is a rebloomer called Stella Doro. It'll bloom at least twice, if not 3 times during the growing season.
Great.
I brought you 2 pairs, one here and one up there, so they'd get cross-pollination, even though they do pollinate on their own. Hopefully you'll have all the pairs you can use.
Great. Thank you.
Well, let's get to work. Anytime you plant a plant, you want the hole to be 2 or 3 times wider than the pot or the ball that you're putting into the ground. The other thing is you don't want to dig too deep. It won't grow. So what I do is I measure the depth of the ball, subtract 2 inches, and end up making a hole in that depth. Whenever you're planting a plant that's coming out of a container, when you take it out, you need to recognize whether it's root bound. If it is root bound, you need to scarify that ball, pull those roots out so that they grow out into the soil. Most people would just measure up to here and call that the height of the hole. But that's not true. We have to find the root flare and probably be not as deep as this. So we got to take some material off, which will make that a little shallower. So let me cut first. Some of the strings off so I can get in. So look right here. You can see where the trunk starts getting wider. That's the root flare. In fact, I can see one right here coming off. But on top of that, I have a problem. I have a root that's crossing over a main root. This is called girdling. We'll actually show you that in the other. So once we get it in the hole, we'll cut that root out. You can see where the height we're at right now. So look,
Oh, yeah.
instead of being up here, we are now down here, probably a 6-inch dip.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to dig a little bit more out of the center and we'll hold it. Okay. All right, what I want you to do is water these plants in deep. You're going to have to hit them 2 or 3 times, a little at a time. Just keep working your way back and forth, all right?
All right.
All right, Haley, what I want you to do is spread this mulch out 2 to 3 inches deep, and I don't want it on the stems of the plants. You can get a little on top of the root ball, but not all the way up to the stems, okay?
Okay.
It's going to keep the weeds from germinating. It'll also hold moisture in the soil, and it looks nice. So, what do you think?
Oh, this is amazing. I can't believe this is my house. This is such a huge transformation from this morning.
Yeah, we had those big monster U's in front of the house. Now they're gone. Your house almost needs sunglasses. It's going to get so much sunlight. Well, now's the most important stuff, and that's watering. You have to water these plants 15 to 20 minutes a day. You should probably go out and get a sprinkler and set it up to cover this area. Maybe you can get one of those battery-operated timers, and that'll take all the worry out of getting the water.
Thank you so much. Honestly, this is amazing.
All right, guys, there are 2 of them. One's white, one's red. They're rubbery, plasticky, latexy. What is it?
I've been looking for these.
Yeah?
Yep. In case you haven't noticed, I've been having a little problem hearing lately.
A little?
Huh?
Yeah, that should be us.
This is a manual hearing aid. You know, the little ones are expensive. You have to change the batteries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This one here, you just kind of hold it up. And,
Oh, yeah.
It looks good.
Wait, you're just talking about me like that?
no. This one's a complete fake out. You put it up, and it doesn't magnify anything. Go ahead, talk to me.
What do you do?
I don't.
You get it on back.
Well,
My ass does some work?
Yeah, okay, yeah.
I'll pick up this place for free.
Yeah, sure.
Hey, that's not what it is.
No
Give
kidding.
me those plants right there. All right, you know, they say talk to your plants. You think nice thought that your plants will grow nice and healthy.
They say that.
They do.
Well, I didn't know that. It's,
But what do your plants say when you're not around? Or maybe when you're sleeping and the lights go.
They talk in their sleep?
Yeah, this is how you find out. These are actually recording devices hanging on the side. Now, let's say this is the week that you fertilize the plants. Right? So now you're not home, the lights go out, it's night, the plants are dark.
Yeah.
One plant says to the other, hey, wait for you.
Is that her?
Tommy,
Leave that alone. You're not done.
what kind of plants are you growing?
Oh, you don't want to know.
Fellas, this is a kazooaphone. Kazooaphone, exactly. Because if you can play the kazoo as well as I can, we want everybody to hear it. So with this, I play the kazoo. You do? I do.
Oh, no.
I can too. Can you? I can play the kazoo with you. And you with you. I can play the kazoo with you.
Can you?
Can and I do. I can even play two.
Well, whoop-dee-doo. Whoop-dee-doo.
Yeah.
Get him out of here.
Thank you, Kevin. All right, we all have smartphones, but it really is. Your smartphones, they're all loaded with music, so let me just put this on so you can hear that.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
You hear
barely.
anything? Look at the difference. Watch.
Wow.
Yeah.
No.
That's pretty good.
Still can't hear.
The thump of a trunk closing is a satisfying sound, and it leads to some other equally satisfying sounds. Save more this Labor Day in store and online at the Home Depot. The Home Depot. Outdoors get more done.
From small business to manufacturing, America's tech innovators are driving economic growth and creating jobs. Tech isn't just a sector of our economy, it's critical to our economy's entire infrastructure. But some Washington politicians support policies that will cause America's most innovative companies to fall behind. These overreaching bills will strengthen our adversaries at a time when we're engaged in high-stakes competition. Who will lead the future, America or someone else? We must protect our competitive edge.
We work for the people of New York City. It's our job to find justice for victims.
Not go in there.
What do you got?
I can promise you one thing. We take care of our own.
You had my back like you always do.
Go.
You are tough.
I was raised in this copland.
Shot fired!
Someone.
All other days work.
If you've ever had a bad night's sleep, call it Price the new Craftmatic Legacy. It has so much more than other adjustables. It still costs up to 50% less, featuring a rising adjustable pillow rest to support your head, neck, and shoulders, bedside power plugs, under-bed night lights, and more. So call it Price One today for less, up to 50% less than Tempur-Pedic, Sleep Number, and other adjustables.
You get so much more and it still costs less. You gotta see how little they cost.
Call 800-329-8026. That's 800-329-8026. Call now. This ever happened to you? You go to take a shower and you end up taking a bath. Looks like you need to clear a drain. When a bathtub or shower backs up, many people reach for a bottle of this, drain cleaner. Now, these harsh chemicals may clear the clog. They also can damage pipes, and they can be dangerous for plumbers should you need to call in a backup. But the good news is clearing a stoppage can be easy if you have the right tool. This is called a drum auger, also known as a snake. This should be part of every homeowner's arsenal. They call it a snake because the wire will twist down inside the pipe, physically breaking the stoppage. On a shower base like this, below the floor is a trap, a U-shaped device that holds water to keep sewer gas from coming up into the room. And this is also a place where the stoppage can occur, in the trap or in the horizontal pipe below the floor. It starts by removing the strainer and running the drain snake down. want to do is advance it a little bit at a time and lock it, and then twist it down the drain. There we go. Let's see what the problem is. Oh, look at that, all that hair. That is typically the culprit right there. If you have a tub like this with a shower, then the setup's a little different. A bathtub has an overflow to prevent the tub from overfilling. If you run the snake down through the drain, it can go up the overflow and get stuck. It's always better to run the snake down through the overflow and through the drain. But otherwise, the process is the exact same. Who knew that a simple tool like this could save you some headaches and some money?
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you? Sean.
Hi, Sean. Tom Silva. It's a great old house. I love it.
Oh, we love it too. Been here about 2 years. House is a little bit over 100 years old, and it used to be a barn.
Used to be a barn. Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, I bet it was cold in the winter.
Very cool. So cold that we put in cellulose insulation in the walls.
Well, the nice thing here is you have vinyl siding, and when they blow the insulation in the wall, they can actually peel this back and drill a series of holes to get the insulation in the wall. Now, they usually drill it down low, another one up high on each elevation, so they can really dense back into the wall.
Yeah, it's been great. We've definitely seen the difference,
Yeah.
sound and with heat. So
Well, that's great. That's great. So what's the problem?
Well, the problem is that when they were here, they were a little bit rough on our vinyl siding. So we got a lot of little nicks and bumps all over the place.
What time of year did they do it?
Wintertime.
Winter. So the vinyl is pretty brittle in the winter. So this can happen. We can fix this problem, and I can show you how to do it.
Great.
Vinyl siding is pretty easy to do. Each piece is folded to look like two courses of siding. On the top of each piece is a nailing strip with holes or slots that allows you to attach the siding to it. The nailing strip has a little channel below it. When you install a new piece of siding, the bottom of the new piece of siding snaps into that channel. When you need to remove or replace that siding, you just push down on it and it pops up. All right, Sean, I would say that this is the shady side of the house. It doesn't get a lot of sun, so the siding on the house hasn't faded over. Now, what I did is I picked up a new piece of siding, same manufacturer, and the same color. And I hold it up against the side of the house. You can actually see how it looks. I think it looks pretty good. What do you think?
I think it looks great.
All right, so now the first thing I want to do is remove some of those damaged pieces of siding. To do that, I can actually put my hand right in here at this joint. I'm going to pull down, and that'll snap it out of the groove, and I can expose all the nails. All right, that's good enough for now. Now I'll go down and I'll take this piece off here, pull this down, because I want to expose the nails along the top of this panel right here. All right, with the siding loose, we can just hold it up and I can get right to the nail, pull it up. All right, the nails are out, so now we should be able to just push this piece right down. Get it right out. Yeah, you can see where they drill the holes for your insulation. All right, so we'll take this row next. All right, now we're ready to install the vinyl strip. Now, if you look right here, the manufacturer actually cuts away the nailing strip on the top about 2 inches, and they also remove a section of the snap-in piece at the bottom. There's a reason for that. Vinyl siding will expand over its length with temperature changes, and the pieces have to overlap. If they don't overlap, you put them together tight. When it shrinks, you'll have an opening. All right, now all we have to do now is take the piece and start here on an angle, push it up behind this piece right here, slide it in. Now I want to slowly push it up so it gets caught on the bottom into that nailing strip. Bring it up. As I go down, bring it up, snap it in. Once it's snapped in, like that. Now I can slide it to the right or to the left so I have an overlap on this side also. Now we're ready to nail the siding off. There's a correct way to nail the siding. We actually don't want to nail it tight to the wall. We want it to be hung on the wall. So now when I install the nail, I want to place it in the center of the slot. I want to pull up gently on the siding to make sure it's seated in the strip below. And I'm going to tack it in place. And that's it. It can hang there. So now we can expand and contract with temperature change. You want to nail it off?
Yeah.
All right, another new piece. Slide this one in.
The thump of a trunk closing is a satisfying sound, and it leads to some other equally satisfying sounds. Save more this Labor Day in store and online at the Home Depot. The Home Depot. Outdoors get more done.
I'm Sweetie, and this is my McDonald's order. I get a Big Mac, chicken McNuggets, fries, and a Sprite with sweet and sour and barbecue sauce. The Sweetie meal. Order ahead on the McDonald's app. Your favorite stars like you've never seen them before.
Classy, that's hot, spiritual.
What?
Where do I know you from? Playboy.
Walking into a church, don't ignite.
Go behind the scenes and get up close and personal
That's fantastic.
on Pluto TV Celebrity all day and all night.
Let's make some happy little clouds. Just sort of have an idea of it. Just sort of let it happen. Make up little stories. Think about the scene that you're painting. Look how hard everything is with a tree.
Right now on NBC News Now.
We begin with one giant leap forward in the space race. It really is the workers' market right now. We actually found more people looking to take advantage of new opportunities.
NBC News Now, streaming 24/7. 10 games. 60 seconds. $250,000.
Hit him with the level edge whip bread. These guys are gonna go all the way.
There it is, baby! Minute to win it on Game Show Central.
We repaired these two damaged pieces right here using two old pieces of vinyl. We have one small piece right here left to do, but I don't want to replace it with a whole new piece. I'm simply going to cut it here, take one of the good sections of the pieces that we removed, and use that for a patch. I got this piece away from the joint below, so the joints are staggered. All right, now here's the piece that I just removed from the house. So I'll place the piece here, exposing about 3/4 to 1 inch. I'll then go down the other end, mark my length. Now I still have to remove a section of the nailing strip on the top and a small piece on the back so that they'll lay flat and put it together. And this one goes in just like the others. Put it in back of the piece in front, and that. Slide it on top of the piece in the back. All right, now I can't pull this siding down to lock it into this piece down here. So what I have to do is use this little tool right here. It's actually called a zip tool. This little hook allows me to catch the bottom of the siding and pull down. And when I pull down, I bend it away enough so when I push on it, it'll snap into place. Take it down here, pull down, push my side, and slide it as I go. All right, I think that's it, Sean. What do you think?
It looks great, and it matches perfectly.
Well, that was the idea. Now, if the siding should ever get damaged again, you'll know how to fix it.
I will. Thank you, Tommy. That was a great fix as usual. You know, I look at the siding though. I don't see any manufacturer's labeling. How are you able to get the exact match?
Well, what I did in that case, I went there a couple of days before, and I actually stole a piece of siding off the house. I then took it to my supplier, and then what we did is we matched up the color, the profile, and the grain, so that we had the right brand.
You got lucky.
We did.
What do you do if you can't find an exact match?
Well, what I would do is I would actually steal a piece off of a house, maybe behind a shrub somewhere. And that's actually what I planned on doing there. But I was able to get this brand, the same color, and because that house didn't have a lot of sun on that side, I didn't have a lot of fade, so I was actually able to use a new piece right in there.
So when you steal it off of a part of the house, if you don't see that often, you're filling that back in with new stuff.
Yeah.
Hoping people won't see that.
You won't notice the back.
Yeah.
It's a good trick.
Yeah.
Yep.
And a good fix and a happy homeowner.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, well, if you've got questions about your house, we'd love to hear from you. So send us an email or a tweet. Until next time, Ken O'Connor.
I'm Tom Silva.
I'm Richard Hewitt.
And I'm Roger Cook for Ask This Old House.
Vinyl is final. That's
Yeah.
what they say.
Until it gets damaged.
Right. Well, that too.
Next time on Ask This Old House.
I'll show you how to fix a sagging plaster ceiling with the help from some window screen.
I think it looks fantastic. It's a complete transformation.
And I'll show you the latest super efficient home heating and cooling technology.
Working with power tools or other loud equipment, most people know to use eye protection. But have you given any thought to ear protection? Today on Ask This Old House.
I'll show you how to fix a sagging plaster ceiling with the help from some window screen.
I think it looks fantastic. It's a complete transformation.
Guys, very simple. It's white. It's made of styrofoam. What is it?
Exactly what it is.
You do?
We use all the time.
What do you do with it, Tom? I'll show you the latest in super efficient home heating and cooling technology. So all your heating and cooling is provided by this single outdoor condenser unit. And even though you get multiple zones inside, there's only one box outside. Okay.
That's next on Ask This Old House.
It seems like every question I get is about high fuel bills. No matter how much someone's paying, it is too much. Hello, Dennis. How are you?
I'm great. Richard, thanks for coming.
Well, you mentioned that you had some interesting fuel bills in this house of yours.
I do. We moved in the house about a year ago, and the electricity bill is really, really high.
And how much?
It's about $700 a month.
Oh boy, that's high.
Yeah,
You looked at other fuels?
I did. We looked into gas. Gas company said it would roughly take $59,000 to run a line.
5,900.
No, 59,000.
So they run it in from Alaska?
I think so.
So I see you got window air conditioners too, so there's no central air?
No central air.
I think I came just in time. Let's take a peek. Great. Dennis is paying a huge fuel bill. Look what he's getting for it. An outdated heating system that's expensive to run, and no central air. Is definitely more for.
So, Richard, the home inspector tells me that I have electric radiant ceiling heat, which I have never heard of before.
Well, it wasn't all that popular, but there was a time in history that was pretty popular. That was back late 60s, early 70s. The idea that we're going to have cheap electricity forever, and that didn't quite pan out. But people love the idea. Think about it. You look at the ceiling, you don't see anything. because the heat is hidden up inside the ceiling. If you can see above this drywall, there's electrical cables that are attached to the underside of the joist. The drywall goes on with plastic. Now when you turn the heat on, this whole ceiling puts the radiant. Once you turn the thermostat up, it's perfect. So what I've got is actually an attachment for the backside of a smartphone that is an infrared camera. So now I can actually see the heat. All right, so look at that. In no time, you can start to see those cables start to heat up. See them getting hotter and hotter. Oh yeah. And they really like the elements of the toaster oven. That's the nature of any electric baseboard or electric furnace or the ceiling grating. The cables heat up, and that's expensive. What I'm really excited to show you, though, is some new technology that makes electricity really efficient. Great. For many years, efficiency wasn't much of a consideration. Fuel was cheap, but as energy costs have risen, so is the desire for super efficient equipment that can heat or cool the same space for less money. We're going to be able to heat and cool your building. The solution starts down here. We've got a great local HVAC contractor who gives us a hand. And down here, we're going to install a ductless heat pump. Now, a ductless heat pump, we've used them before. They're perfect for places like this, wide open spaces, bonus rooms, or even places difficult to get to. Now, the basic principle of these units is, like any air conditioner, we're actually not making cold. We're gathering heat from inside the building and transferring it, dumping it outside. There's a refrigerant that runs between this indoor wall-mounted unit and an outdoor condenser. The refrigerant is very cold, so it absorbs heat that's in the room and transfers it outside, where it's released into the atmosphere. The refrigerant is recharged and sent back into the building cold to capture more heat. But these units can also take the same process and work in reverse during the cooler months, capturing heat that's in the environment outside and transferring it to the inside to condition the space. That sounds great, but is this system going to be able to keep up with these cold winters? People don't realize that even when it's really, really cold outside, there's still heat to be had outside. This heat actually is a block of ice. The big breakthrough for us is this technology called an inverter. An inverter allows us to capture that small amount of heat that's outside, it's down to about 5 degrees, take that heat, move it inside the building, multiply its output and condition the space. It's much more efficient to actually move heat than to make it. Oh, that sounds great. The idea of a heat pump is not new. They've been in play in the southern states for many years. But they can usually only find heat if the outdoor temperature is above 30 degrees Fahrenheit. But with a cold weather heat pump, there's an efficient solution even in a harsh climate like this. So all your heating and cooling is going to be provided by this single outdoor condensing unit. And even though you get multiple zones inside, there's only one box outside. Okay. Now, they've also, because it has to heat till winter, they've mounted it on a stand to get it up above the snow line so it can operate even when the snow is falling. Refrigeration lines, that's a pretty straightforward. One set of larger lines from the unit to inside, so you can see how easy it is to retrofit into the building. When we're done, we're either going to be finding heat outside in the winter and dump it to inside, or in the summer we'll find heat inside and dump it to outside. Okay. I love everything that you've said so far, but does that mean I'm going to have a single wall-mounted unit in every single room? I thought you were going to ask me that. No. Homeowners would like every room to be perfectly comfortable, summer or winter. But the big challenge for me is that no one wants to see our work. Ideally, it would all be hidden or at least low profile.
Our seasonal savings aren't made to lure you in. Quite the opposite. To get you out there doing stuff. Save more this Labor Day in store and online at the Home Depot. The Home Depot. Outdoors get more done.
Just 2 pills for all-day pain relief. Believe it and see what's possible.
Ceramides are important lipids found within the stratum corneum, essential in the regulation of transepidermal water levels and healthy barrier function.
Baby skincare with ceramides mimics physiological lipids and supports natural homeostasis. Skincare started shortly after birth may avoid skin damage, including known dermatological conditions like atopic dermatitis. We can prevent it, we believe, a wide percentage of children just by starting off with the correct use of emollients.
Start with those who will order things from pretty much anywhere, but prefer to stay local when it comes to their meds. For you, there's Walgreens same-day prescription delivery from the local pharmacy you trust. Text JOIN-RX to 21525.
Get ready to test your limits on Pluto TV Reality. Experience the highs and the lows. I've never seen anything like that.
Your head is not okay. You can't handle the heat. And I'm in the spot. I am living right now.
That's good for the nugget, baby.
Secret safe with nuts.
It's a big deal. Mean looking town.
You're not going to believe this. You ever surprised me?
No.
Feel the adrenaline on Pluto TV Reality.
Above us here in the first floor, we have a wide open attic. It gives us all kinds of opportunities to put in an air handler like this. This is actually a ductless air handler.
What is that?
Well, you know the unit downstairs, that's ductless. That's all the same technologies in this, but now we're going to have ducts attached to the backside. The return air is going to come here. Supply is going to come out here, and there's a coil right here. It's going to be heated and cooled. We looked at this building. We could put a single unit up here, maybe two. But actually, we looked at the building and actually going to break it into a quadrant. 4 different air handlers on this top floor. The reason we did it is because we can. Refrigeration is so straightforward and easy. For the outdoor condensing unit, we have one set of larger size refrigerant line sets like this that's going to take you in or out of the building. Then we come to this branch box right here. And this is really like an electrician's circuit panel. Now we can go up to 5 indoor units like this with small refrigerant line sets. This is all we have to fish to the air handlers. We're done. You're going to end up with 4 zones on this floor, each with their own control. Efficient heating and cooling, filtration, and dehumidification. That sound good?
Wow, that sounds great.
Let's see how they do. Before the installation began, we ran a heat load calculation to ensure that we were sizing our system correctly. The air handlers get mounted to the roof rafters for easy servicing. Each of our air handlers needs a few connections. Refrigerant lines to each air handler. A drain line to remove the water, also known as a condensate. A supply duct to bring conditioned air to the living space. And a return duct to bring our air back to the heated room. The only thing you'll see in the room is a few registers in the ceiling. A single return, which is 12 inches by 12 inches. And a few 8 by 8 supplies. All right, so all the installation is done. You've got an air handler above your master right here, another one over the 2 boys' bedrooms right there, one more over the living room, and one here in the kitchen. Each one with their own thermostat, so you can set any temperature you want, up or down. Are those programmable? They are programmable. That means you can save more money. The nice thing is, wireless, easy to install. So now, with all this in place, you now have an inverter system, 4 zones. Right? And even on a 5-degree day outside, you should have plenty of heat to heat this building. What's really nice is each air handler, good measure, has electrical element that's good for backup and for boost.
Wow, that's great.
All right, well, I hope you and your wife and your kids have many years of comfort both summer and winter.
Thank you. I can't wait to see the
All right,
cost
my
savings.
friend. All right, be well. Good guy.
Yeah, I tell you, when you go from an electric gradient heating system in the ceiling to that system, that's a huge upgrade.
Absolutely.
But when I see, 4 air handlers in the ceiling and then another wall-mounted unit in the basement, 5 pieces of equipment,
Right.
That's a lot of hardware.
Well, think about it. Once you've invested in the outdoor condensing, you run that line inside to that branch box. Now you've got some choices. There's really a lot of flexibility. You can have 5, 6, up to 8 zones.
Right.
Well, the homeowners have a young feeling because we're not moving. We have 4 zones. We have a zone in all 4 points, and they got it.
So they didn't need to have 4 air handlers. Could have installed the system with just say 2? That
Right.
went to multiple
As I
rooms?
mentioned in the piece, it could have been a single air handler on the top floor. If we got it, maybe 2. We went all 4 because we could, and they're happy.
Right. So we went from an electric system that was all electric, and they went to a new system that's still all electric, but it's more efficient.
That's a really big difference. That electric rate is you put $1 worth of heat into that. You barely get $1 worth of heat back out of it. With this, you put $1 worth of electricity in it. You put $3 of heat back out of it, and you get
So maybe they chose the expensive system because they designed a system to give them the ultimate control and comfort, but also the ultimate efficiency. Nice job.
Guys, very simple. It's white. It's made of styrofoam. What is it?
I know exactly what it is.
You do?
I use these all.
What do you do with it, John?
Well, I build decks. You didn't notice?
Yes. Yeah.
But once in a while, when you build a deck, you have to have footage in the ground to support that deck.
Yeah.
It's kind of a pain. You got to drill a hole in the ground. You got to make a form.
Drill a hole.
And then you got to pour the concrete.
Yeah, the hole you drill.
That's right. This I can fill this up with wet concrete and then carry it over to the hole in the ground.
The hole you just drilled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I just dump it in the hole like that and boom.
That's easier.
All
Takes that shape.
I don't
It's
really understand
absolutely.
it. It worked for you.
Yeah, it's because of the styrofoam. That's how it works.
I know. Now, you guys know that I go north and south of Florida, right?
The permission.
That's you don't go some long drive. You know, you stop at the rest area and need a cup of coffee. That's what they give you.
So that's not going to do it.
That's not going to do it. Not going to do it.
That's one state. That's like one state.
This is the big gulp. That cup? That's right.
You get coffee in that.
That's right. So you put that in the passenger side.
Buckle it in.
Buckle it in. I never have anybody ride with me. I can get through at least 4 states.
Just dip and go. Yeah.
Go the whole way. One cup. No. Not at all. No. Sometimes you have to make a really important phone call. Yeah. And sometimes you don't want people listening. All right. So let's say I have to rebalance my portfolio.
Yeah.
I wanted to,
Yeah.
I gotta get the ETFs that's in the international stuff. And it's like,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go to a secure area. Milk and eggs. No. I have to go. Just sell it all by Monday.
We didn't hear anything. We didn't hear anything.
How could you?
We didn't hear
Secure zone.
anything. Right.
Secure zone.
We heard that. Don't forget the milk.
Actually, guys, I didn't tell you. There's 4 holes on this, and this is for ventilation.
Why my seat's so wet?
Yeah. This is actually for a plant. You have tender plants.
I just happen to have a plant here for you.
And right before the frost comes, you take and put this over. Right? The air can come out, but it'll keep it protected. And at the end of spring, your plants are beautiful.
Why would you put your plants in a secure zone? Working with power tools or other loud equipment, most people know to use eye protection. But have you given any thought to ear protection? Hearing loss is a problem that affects nearly 30 million U.S. adults. And even though it happens gradually, damage is cumulative. So using good hearing protection is very important. But how loud is too loud? Exposure to sounds above 85 decibels is usually considered harmful, but most people don't measure how loud the tools are. That's loud. A good rule of thumb is that if you need to shout to be heard by somebody standing at arm's length, then you should wear hearing protection. Many people choose over-the-ear protection, like these earmuffs. They're great for convenience because as you come and go from your tools, it's easy to slip on and off. Would you believe that these big, bulky things may not give you the best protection? Earmuffs block out mid-frequency sounds, so they do well with gentle shock noises. But they don't do as well with low-frequency sounds. The best ear protection you can use are these little guys, foam earplugs. They block out both low and mid-frequency sounds. But you have to wear them right. Most people just try to jam them into their ear. That's the wrong way. You want the foam to fill the ear cavity, so you start by rolling it in your fingers, pressing it. To get the best fit, use the tug on your ear, gently place and press the plug into the canal. The ear plug will slowly expand and fill the ear cavity. Foam earplugs are also a good choice because they're out of the way. They won't interfere with eye or respiratory protection. It's always good to keep some form of hearing protection handy, like in your tool bag, so it's easy to find and use. Because your hearing is one tool you don't want to be without.
Our seasonal savings aren't made to lure you in. Quite the opposite. To get you out there doing stuff. Save more this Labor Day in store and online at the Home Depot. The Home Depot. Outdoors get more done.
As healthcare providers, when we screen for adverse childhood experiences, we can treat toxic stress and prevent the negative health impacts that affect so many Californians. Join the movement. Let's make our state of care a Square.
At Square, we help every kind of business with every part of their business. Millions use our tools for everything from taking payments to selling online. Go to square.com to see how all our tools work together and save you time with a single account. There's no long-term contracts, and Square integrates with other services you're already using, so you can run your whole business all from one place. Start saving time and money today by switching to Square. Get started free at square.com now.
At Avocado, we believe love is pure, honest, committed, and above all, natural. It inspires everything we do. From the natural, organic materials we use to our commitment to sustainability. Because with enough love, we can change the world. Avocado, natural as love.
You never know who's going to walk through that door.
Every week, watch recent episodes of your favorite CBS shows on CBS Selects. Sure to help you know. Welcome, I'm Stephen Colbert.
We follow up on every case and everything.
The hell are you?
Neighborhood Watch.
Watch for the TV on demand. We're looking for a total psycho. Have your here. We got her. That's perfect. CBS Selects. Watch recent episodes on demand.
Hi, Jessica.
Oh, hi, Tom. Thank you so much for coming over.
My pleasure.
The reason why my husband and I called you is we're a little concerned about our ceiling. It looks like it's caving in and we have some safety concerns. Wanted your expertise on what are our options here.
Well, it's definitely coming down in a couple of sections right there. But what you have here is an old plaster and lath ceiling. Plaster is actually makes you must see sometimes go here. That holds the plaster together. The lath up there is placed with nails, and there's a space between the lath. So when they take the plaster that's mixed up and is wet, they actually force it onto the lath. And then the plaster goes up through the lath and actually forms a key holding it to the lath. So what happens over time is a vibration of people walking in the house, moving, trucks going by, kids playing, can actually cause the plaster to crack and break away that connection. So what happens is it falls out.
We have a lot of those activities around here,
Yeah,
so that
so-
would make sense.
All right. Well, we can fix this problem. There's a couple of different ways that we can fix it. We can cut out a big section and install a 3/8 thick sheet because we want to match the thickness of the plaster. So
Which sounds very messy.
it can be because this plaster is dry. It's very messy and create a lot of dust. All right. So what I'd like to do is try a first option, reattaching the plaster to the lath.
I think that sounds like a great option.
All right, let's get started. All right, Jessica, this could be a little messy, so we've covered your floor with a drop cloth, covered the wall, protect that, brought in a couple of pieces of scaffolding so we can stand on it, don't have to go up and down a ladder, make it a lot easier. Now what I need to do is I actually need to push the plaster back into place. To do that, I'm going to use a piece of wood as a clamp. I'm going to screw it into some structure. Hopefully, that will push it back up. All right, now just a little bit on that side. Now I'm going to do the other end. I'm using 3/8 screws to attach the 1x3 strapping to the structure above the plaster ceiling. All right, now strapping is up in place and it's doing the heavy lifting. But now what I want to do is start screwing some of this plaster right here. Hopefully we'll be able to push this up with some drywall screws. But if I use just a drywall screw, the head is very small. So when I go through the plaster, it'll break through it. So I'm going to add a washer to the drywall screw. Now these washers are designed for this type of work. There's actually little holes in them. So when we go over this with our plaster and a junk on it, it'll actually stick to the washer.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right, so you go. All right, now what I want to do is take the strapping down to see how the screws and the washers held up. Okay, so now let's see what's going on here. Now the plaster rings are holding some of the plaster back in place. You can see here that there's a veneer coat. This veneer coat is over the base coat. Now right here, some of the base coat is really loose. You can actually see the hair in the plaster. You can actually see the lad.
This section right here is what we're saving, so we'll put a small piece of drywall in here.
All right, as you can see, we weren't able to save all of the plaster, but we were able to save around the perimeter using those plaster rings and screws. So I cut out the center section that crumbled away. It's a lot easier to cut the hole to fit the patch. Cut the patch to fit the hole. The patch is made of 3/8 drywall with the thickness of the plaster on the ceiling.
Perfect.
I'll attach it to 1 5/8 drywall screws. All right, that's good on this section. Now we have the same issue over here. Patch is a little bit bigger, but let's attack it the same way. All right, now we were able to pull the plaster up using these 3 pieces of strapping right here because I was able to screw that strapping into the structure above the lab. There isn't any structure right here, so what I need to do is push this part of the plaster up. To do that, I've screwed a piece of strapping to the ones that are into the ceiling. Now I'm going to take a filler strip, put it in here, like that. Another one over here. Now when I tighten up these screws, it should pull the plaster up.
Looking pretty good, Tom. I'm hopeful.
Yeah, me too. So now what I want to do is I want to try it with some washers. Hopefully it won't break. It's all looking pretty good. It's tightening up nicely. A couple more screws and washers and we'll peel away this veneer. There's it. I don't want to drive the screw and the washer home right away. I want to gently put it in place, bring the plaster up. So I tighten it up a little. Let me pop over to the one beside it. Bring that in a little more. Back to the one I started with. Bring that in a little until I have it seated nicely. Plaster's in place. Now I'm just scraping away all the loose veneer and we install the new plaster. Because we're plastering over an existing ceiling, I want the new plaster to adhere to it really good. So I'm going to mix some joint compound with the veneer plaster and it will stick really well. Okay, you ready? Now if you want to hold the bucket on an angle like that, I'll take the plaster out.
Absolutely.
This is our base coat. And to keep the base coat from cracking where all of the voids and joints and screws are, I'm actually going to cover the whole thing with this fiberglass screening. It's the same thing that you would use on a window or a door to keep the bugs in.
Excellent. So we won't see any more cracking.
Nope, not here anyway.
After about 45 minutes, the base coat sets up. I apply a second and final coat to the ceiling, making sure to fill in all the holes. To finish off the job, I use a felt pad to blend in the high spots and smooth out the ceiling.
All right, Jessica, we're all cleaned up. What do you think?
I think it looks fantastic, considering where we were earlier today and where we are now. It's a complete transformation.
Well, you did have a couple of sections that definitely would have fallen eventually. But I think you wait about a week or so for it to dry, a couple of good coats of ceiling paint on it, it'll look like a new ceiling.
I'm on it. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. I'm glad I could help.
The thump of a trunk closing is a satisfying sound, and it leads to some other equally satisfying sounds. Save more this Labor Day in store and online at the Home Depot. The Home Depot. Outdoors get more done.
Baby skincare with ceramides mimics physiological lipids and supports natural homeostasis, making for a more resistant barrier to things such as toxins, infections, and antigens.
Think organic groceries are too expensive? So do we. Hi, we're Thrive Market. We guarantee savings on healthy groceries and home essentials delivered. How? It's easy. We work directly with the best organic brands, so you get the highest quality products without the big retail markups. Shop everything from pantry essentials to sustainable meat and seafood to non-toxic cleaning, and save up to 30% on your favorite products. Join now and get $20 off your first order.
Not all 5G networks are created equal. It's clear to see T-Mobile is the leader in 5G. T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, most reliable 5G network.
We work for the people of New York City. It's our job to find justice for victims.
Not only that,
What do you got?
I can promise you one thing. We take care of our own.
You had my back like you always do.
No. You are tough.
I was raised in this copland.
Shot plumber!
Someone.
No other day's work.
This is our moment.
Let's get this party started.
Doesn't that sound like fun?
Next time, ask this old house.
I'll install a faucet that really makes a statement.
Yeah,
Talking about capital I for industrial. Looks like something you'd see in a commercial kitchen to wash dishes.
yes.
Arm. And lights out. What is it?
Great load.
There you go. There we go.
Dog paddle.
No, I don't hit the boats. I don't hit buoys. I don't look for shots. I scare them
How many
away.
times are arrested?
Never.
Today, ask this old house. Kansas City will show you an affordable way to update your kitchen. This is a kit that is actually designed to resurface tubs and tile surround.
It looks like an entirely different kitchen. I love it.
I'll install a faucet that really makes a statement.
Got questions about fertilizer? I'll help you answer some.
It's armed. There's a U shape to it. And lights out. What is it?
Great load.
There you go. There we go.
Dog paddle.
No, I don't hit the boats. I don't hit buoys. I don't look for shots. I scare them
How many
away.
times have you been arrested?
Never.
That's next on Ask This Old House. Hi there, I'm Kevin O'Connor, and welcome back to Ask This Old House. We love hearing about your house. Keep your letters, your emails, your tweets coming. We love getting questions from you. And Tommy, a lot of the questions you've been getting have been on insulation.
Yeah, people want to know how to tighten up their house and what type of insulation do they use.
So the basic principle is that the heat in our homes is always going to cold. We're always trying to stop that movement. So we put insulation in the way, and that creates the resistance to heat movement.
Right. Years ago, in an old house, I would open up a wall and I'd find newspapers stapled in between the stud. They were trying to keep the draft out. Little did they realize they were really trying to stop the heat exiting the building.
And that speaks a lot about how much has changed when it comes to insulation. Over the time it wasn't required, but then people went and put those newspapers in the walls. Nowadays, building code requires that we use insulation, and it seems like every year they're upping the ante.
Every year it seems to be getting stricter and stricter. Now, fiberglass insulation is used a lot. Now, this insulation right here is an R13, meant to fit in a 2x4 wall cabinet.
And the R value is measuring resistance. The higher the R value, the more resistance the insulation has.
Exactly. Now, you can get a 6-inch insulation and put it in that 2x4 wall cavity, but it won't, the R factor won't be correct. It's too tight. It's not going to work.
Impressive, right? And this is the most common insulation out there. I suspect people can install it themselves.
It's a great weekend project. You put it in your attic, go to the home center and pick it up.
Roll it out, stick it in the base.
Right.
Right. All right. Now, you don't use this that much, actually. You like the foam.
I use spray foam. The reason I like to use spray foam is it fits so tight in between the stud bays. It also goes around any penetration, so it's really an air infiltration barrier.
And that's a big difference because on an R value basis, this open cell foam is basically the same as fiberglass.
It's about the same per inch, that's correct.
But it's more effective, as you said.
Exactly. When you spray this, this will actually come out beyond it. Then they would just take a saw and shape flush with the studs, and you can just cover it up.
Yeah, open cell is one option with foam, closed cell.
Now, if you're looking for a higher R factor in less space, you use a closed cell foam. It's much harder. R factor, this is like 6.4 per inch.
So nearly twice what the open cell is.
Right. It's also a lot more expensive than the standard fiberglass insulation.
So if you've got open bays, this is a great application. Fiberglass is a good application. A lot of times your drywall is already up and you need to retrofit, hence cellulose, which ironically is just ground up newspapers. And to come full circle.
Right back again. Now, if you live in an old house and you want to tighten that up, you can have someone come in. They'll drill some holes. They'll decide to drill some holes and inject a hose or a tube against the wall. Dead spec this into the wall cavity. And that will give you the insulation really tight on the walls. It's also important to know that cellulose has a fluoride, so insects don't like it, and it's a fire retardant.
Several options out there, Tommy. Lots of good information. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Kevin, welcome to Kansas City.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you.
So tell me about your pretty little house here. What's the story?
Well, it was built in 1940, and we just moved in. We've been here for about a month.
Wow. So just getting settled?
Yes, just getting settled.
Well, it looks like you had time to get your antiques out. Is this your doing here?
It is, yeah. I collect and I sell them a little bit on the side. The old electronics are my favorite.
So you got some good ones there. All right, but you wrote us about your kitchen. Let's have a look at this space. It's a pretty good space. It's big.
It is.
And a lot of prep area, work area.
It's in good shape. We like the countertops. We like the cabinets. The problem really is the backsplash. It's just so dark. It feels dated. We're not really happy with it.
Okay, so it is a little dark. I mean, obviously from the color, it's like a subway tile shape. That's a terracotta. It's a good shape. I mean, the grout's all there. It's going to be great tiles. You guys want to change it? You want to take it out?
Well, in our last house, we did a floor-to-ceiling renovation in the kitchen, and I'm just not willing to do that again. It just took way too long, and we're pretty happy with everything except for the backsplash. So if there's something quick we could do, that would be perfect.
Maybe a facelift.
That sounds great.
Sure, we'll have
The thump of a trunk closing is a satisfying sound, and it leads to some other equally satisfying sounds. Save more this Labor Day in store and online at the Home Depot. The Home Depot. Outdoors get more done.
Start with those who will order things from pretty much anywhere, but prefer to stay local when it comes to their meds. For you, there's Walgreens same-day prescription delivery from the local pharmacy you trust. Text JOIN-RX to 21525. You're born with a lot of things. Your mom's eyes, your grandpa's smile. But unfortunately, professional skills aren't enough. Udemy can help you get the education you need to succeed. With thousands of online courses taught by real-world experts, reviewed by students just like you. Udemy helps you achieve your big dreams, no matter how small they start. Start learning today with Udemy.
This summer, let me tell you what, experience epic heroes, explosions, and sunglasses. All the movies, all summer long.
That was good.
Popcorn summer movies, only on Pluto TV.
So April, if you don't like the color of your tile, but you don't want to change it out, I'm thinking that we would just paint over it.
Tile? Can you paint tile?
Well, I wouldn't use traditional paint on tile. I mean, tile tends to be hard, non-porous, it's got to be glazing on it, it's a very slick surface. But if we use a special paint, I think we can actually pull it off. And so this is a kit that is actually designed to resurface tubs and tile in the bathroom. And we can use it in the kitchen. And it's actually epoxy from the two parts. So there's the epoxy and then there's the activator. We mix them together. In this case, it's white. So we can actually turn more red terracotta into a white subway tile.
Okay, that should really brighten it up.
All right, so it's going to be a lot of prep work before we can do this. So let's clean off the counters and get started on the prep.
All right.
That's done. So we've protected your granite countertop with a plastic drop cloth, and now we've got to clean the tile. And it starts by taking off things like caulk. Now we want to clean the entire surface of the backsplash. We're going to start with a kitchen and bath cleaner. It's just a bleach and water mix from a spray bottle, and then we're going to scrub everything with a scouring pad. We're going to take a little extra time behind the stove, because that's typically a spot that's got more grease on the wall. All right, April. Tile looks pretty good.
Yeah, it was a lot of work.
Probably the cleanest it's ever been, right?
Yeah.
All right, even though we're using an epoxy coating specifically designed for tile, we want to make sure that we have good adhesion, and that means we want to etch the tile. We're going to do that in 2 steps. And the first one's using a calcium rust cleaner. All right, so we'll just put a little bit on our abrasive pads, just a few, and we're just going to start going after it. Second step in edging is to go over the entire surface with sandpaper. We're going to use a 400 grit, that's really fine. You just want to degloss the tile. Right, so after a light sanding, you want to clean it off with a clean rag that's damp. Just wipe it down and then make sure it gets completely dry, probably at least 15 minutes. All right, April, tile and grout are completely dry and we're ready for the paint.
Awesome.
Now it's kind of stinky, so we actually put 2 fans in the windows to make sure we've got great ventilation and we've opened everything up.
Right.
It's 2 parts, as I told you, an A and a B, and we made sure that we mixed the A and the B independently in their own cans, and now we're going to mix them together.
Does this end up being the consistency of paint?
Close to it, but a little thinner. That fits perfectly. And now we're going to stir the 2 of them together for 2 minutes from now. All right, it's thickening up, and that's pretty good right there. That's the consistency we're looking for. I'm going to pour it into 2 trays, one for you, one for me. A little bit of that one, a little bit of that one. Drip, and then we're going to cover that can while we're not using it. Thank you. All right, April, so these grout lines are a little deep, so we're actually going to clean them first with the brush, and we're also going to cut in. You start with that, and I'm going to follow behind with a roller. Just don't get too far ahead of me because we always want a wet edge.
All right.
We're going to do 2 coats, so it doesn't have to be put on that heavy. You want to make sure that it doesn't drip.
Looks really good. I like it.
You're all ready, huh? Yeah. Second coat.
I can't believe what a difference this makes.
All ready, right? Okay, April. That's the first coat. Let's dry for an hour. All right, first coat completely dry.
Great.
Pretty much the same process with the second coat. You work the brush, I'll work the roller. Keep a wet edge and just try to keep the paint a little bit tighter with the grout line this time. Just like that. You are perfect. I'm going to go over 1 tile at a time in the direction of the tile. Just not going over the grout line to the roller. Work with the roller, you might see some bubbling. Don't worry about that. It will go away and the paint will lay down flat. All right, stove back and place. The second coat has been drying for about an hour, so that's good to go. I ran a bead of caulk between the wall and the countertop, dug out the old caulk there. And even though it's dried at a touch, it really should set up overnight. So we're not going to put the cover plates back on yet. They might stick, so you can do those tomorrow?
I can do that.
Well, other than that, I think you are good to go. What do you think?
It looks like an entirely different kitchen. I love it.
Great. Well, I'm glad you're happy with it. And I'll tell you, for less than $100 worth of material and half a day worth of labor, it's a pretty dramatic situation.
Yeah.
Wow. Now that is a transformation.
It sure was. And she was thrilled. And like only $100? Well, the kit itself is only $30 at the home center. But then you buy all the other supplies like the paintbrush, the drop cloths, and things. Yeah. But still, short money in. $100 for the materials, and it only took us half a day to complete that transformation. Right. Now, originally the kit was devised so that you could repaint the bathtub with tile surrounds, but tiles, so a backsplash in the kitchen's great.
So I can use that to cover up that old pink or Harvest Gold bathtub?
Oh, I wouldn't change the pink. That's probably coming back. No, absolutely.
Well, there's plenty of people who would like to get a few more years out of the bathroom and really save that full home.
It's exactly the situation she was in. She may redo that kitchen in 10 years or so, but between now and then, she wanted a new look. We gave it to her.
All right, guys, here we go. It's armed. There's a U shape to it, and it lights up.
Oh, boy.
What is it?
Pretty light.
I think I got it.
You got it?
Yeah, you guys don't know this about me, but I love to swim in the ocean.
Yeah. That's something I do for like a kiddie pool kind of guy.
Does this look like a kiddie pool kind of size?
You're right about that.
So I go down to the ocean at night because I'm too busy during the day. I just can't get them.
Yeah.
Put on my fancy speedo glasses.
Nice. Yeah.
What do you think?
Good welding at the beach?
No, swimming. This lights the way, so I just put this on. Yeah, great look. There we go. There we go. Dog paddle. No, I don't hit the boats. I don't hit buoys. I don't look for sharks. They scare me.
How many times have you been arrested?
Never.
Give me that thing. No, boys, this is something my father introduced me to. My father was a smart guy. He was. He still is. That's right. He's alive, isn't he? That's right. When I was young, my dad always said, Kevin, keep an eye on your money. All right? Good advice. All right? And I said, Dad, I can't. It's in my pocket and it's dark. So this is a lighted money tip that I actually developed, and it allows me to make sure that I look at this little stash.
And the bad guys know too. Pickpockets still?
Hello, money. Still with me?
Making any interest in there?
No more excuses. I see that later.
Thank you.
All right. We all have Santa Claus, the inflatable Santa Claus, the Easter bunnies, right on.
We do.
Right? We do.
They're very expensive. We never had any.
Well, they have you plugged in. And if you don't plug it in before nightfall, you can't find the outlet. This is the greatest little device. So like this, you plug in, you see it. You plug it in.
And how's that work?
Well, this is
You're one of those guys, you put it up in like September, don't you?
And it stays up till June.
Nice. That's not what it is.
What is it?
None of you guys are ready. Have you ever painted it all?
No. Yeah, not a good
Lots of times you paint in the corner or along the sash, and it's very hard to cut into that area.
I painted myself once.
Too bad you know. So you can put this on, turn the light on, and now you can follow that edge in dark spots and cut on that.
No excuses.
You're serious. That's what it really is.
Yeah. Fantastic.
The thump of a trunk closing is a satisfying sound, and it leads to some other equally satisfying sounds. Save more this Labor Day in store and online at the Home Depot. The Home Depot. Outdoors get more done.
Start with those who order things from pretty much anywhere, but prefer to stay local when it comes to their meds. For you, there's Walgreens same-day prescription delivery from a local pharmacy you trust. Text JOIN-RX to 21525.
Stressors that trigger bovine respiratory disease are all around. So when you spot PRD in your herd, turn to Suprevo, the fast that lasts. Suprevo is rapidly absorbed in as little as 45 minutes and lasts up to 28 days. Because the race against PRD, you need to win. Ready, set, Suprevo. In case of human injection, seek immediate medical advice. For use in beef and non-lactating dairy cattle. For prescribing information, talk to your veterinarian or visit Suprevo.com.
I love this car. And it says here on Auto Trader that you offer home test drives?
Yep, wouldn't be a problem at all.
That's great. Hey, buddy. you do me a favor, put some pants back on, please? Big boys wear pants, right?
I am a big boy.
Sorry, what was that my kid just walked in?
Are you ready to get this home test drive started?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. You thought I was talking to you. I thought you were talking to me.
You got pants on though, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, it's corporate policy.
Find dealers offering home services on AutoTrader.
No one can be told what the matrix is. You have to see it for yourself.
If there's anybody who could do this, it's you.
May as well embrace the roller coaster, right?
Close calls.
Let the games begin.
Roger, looks like you are manning the inbox. What's trending?
We're getting a lot of tweets on fertilizer and how to apply it.
All right.
The first thing you need to do is get a soil tester, because that's going to tell you exactly what nutrients you need to add to the soil to make everything grow properly.
The first thing I need is a guide in the aisle of all this stuff, because there are so many different things out there. I don't know what to buy.
Okay, there's 3 major nutrients we want to be concerned with right away: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium.
So everyone's got some sort of mix of those 3.
That's right. Now, if you look in this bag here, it says 32-0-10. There's a couple things. This means it's 32% nitrogen.
Okay.
All right. And that's a lot of nitrogen. You would use this bag on a lawn to really push green growth and make the lawn grow quickly.
And 0% phosphorus and 10% potassium?
Yep.
And you can actually see it on the other bags. I said first time I ever recognized this, 15, 30, 15.
You see the difference here. It's lower in nitrogen, it's higher in potassium, it's higher in phosphorus. Now, phosphorus is going to help with chemical reactions. The potassium, that's going to make the roots grow and give you flowers. So that's a great ratio for flowering plants.
All right, but none of these add up to 100%. That's 42. That's, what is that, 60? Where's the rest of it?
Well, the rest of the bag is called ballast or filler, and it's just a volume that helps you spread the material.
Okay, so you have to spread the solid stuff, but there are liquids out there as well, stuff that you pour on, stuff that you attach to the hose. Do you prefer one versus the other?
I have a use for both. What I do is I use this when I'm doing planters or something I think needs a quick boost. I'll mix it up and pour it on. If I'm planting for window blocks, I'll use that initially, and then I'll follow it up with a product like this, which is a slow-release fertilizer. So now I'm fertilizing the window blocks all through the season.
So generally speaking, the liquids act faster, and the solids are more slow release.
Right. Now you can use a liquid in a holder like this to do the lawns. You can go spray a lawn, or you can even spray a plant. They have dials on the side to make sure you won't burn it. You have to be very careful with all these products. As when you put it down, follow the instructions on the bag.
You don't want to burn anything out. So I notice here you've got organic. I'm assuming over here we've got sort of synthetic, and these are the organic.
That's right. And these are much lower content than those are. NPK. This is like 343, I believe.
I'm looking at it right
434.
here. So those are way low percentages, and that's just given because of the organic nature of this.
When you make organic material, you can't get a big volume of nitrogen. So this is a great product for slow release in trees and shrubs. It'll work really well.
Great information, Roger. Thank you.
Well, Darren, I love this house. It looks so small from the outside, but it feels really big.
Thanks. Yeah, it's an old 1950s Cape, and when we first moved in 11 years ago, it was a beat-up house in a nice neighborhood. And so we renovated it and tried to make it our own.
So what did it look like for you?
So in here, this room felt really small and dark. There was a ceiling here, small bay window there, and behind you here, there was the stairwell was enclosed with a wall and a door.
So you had a room above your head here to get rid of.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the difference, you go right to the ceiling, then you can sit in the area up there.
Yeah.
It really feels good.
Thanks. Yeah, we opened it all up, and we wanted to take a small house and make it feel larger.
Must have taken some courage too.
And a lot of work.
That's right. I love your sense of style. Are you the decorator here?
No, actually, that would be my wife.
She has very good taste, as you know already. Right?
She does have great taste.
What about this room? What was this when you got here?
So this was an old 3-season porch, and it was enclosed here with a wall and a door. We really didn't have a space for a dining room, so we transformed this little area and made ourselves a nice dining room.
And even this is a relatively small space, but it feels big. It does.
Yeah, thanks.
I love this too. Thomas Alva Edison would be proud of these lights. You got the same lights here in the kitchen.
Yeah, and it ties the two rooms together nicely.
Look at this. You got the wire baskets talking about industrial. That's really cool. What books there?
Yeah, exactly. And let me show you this. This is really why we called you guys in. We have this kind of an older faucet here. It's been giving us a little trouble. Leaky nozzle and spray hose.
It's sort of a Victorian look.
Yeah, so it's a little bit older style, and we've been adding more of an industrial look feel here and there. And so we thought it'd be a perfect opportunity to maybe replace this with something that has that.
You're talking about?
Yeah, that's
talking
it right
about
there.
capital I for industrial. Looks like something you'd see in a commercial kitchen for washing dishes.
Yeah, this is a really cool piece. We like it a lot.
Darren, I think this one's going to work.
Fantastic.
All right, to get this faucet, I'm going to start by turning the water off on the gate. Switch off cold. All right, just open that faucet, Darren. Just hold it.
Both on and cold?
Yep. Nothing?
Nothing.
All right. So now to get the faucet out, those connections are in a really tough place, way up underneath that sink. It's really hard to loosen these nuts with pliers. It's just don't want to swing. So for that, I have a special tool. It's a tool called a basin wrench. That's designed to have these jaws in that tight space. It can actually loosen it down. Or flip the jar over, you can tighten it. Right? We're going to lefty loosey. All right, Darren, just grab the faucet, will you? Get the last nut loosened.
Okay, got it.
I tell you, just lift it straight up and away.
Okay.
There you go. Take it now. Good. All right, get the old faucet removed. It's all cleaned up. And now you can see there's 4 holes here, but we only have a single hole in the faucet. So manufacturer provides it with a cover plate that will cover up 3 of the holes. They also have a soap dispenser right here, so it looks like that. So now, we need to get the faucet connected to the sink, but also have the water connection. So for that, here's the water supply pipes that have to connect it with the body of the faucet. Well, we can't get this down through this small shank, so I have to fish it through from right here, right now. Just lift that valve blade up. Just hold it straight right there. Now, and I'm crossing this bed. Bend it.
Look at you getting back to normal. Or at least your 2021 version of what normal should be. And no matter what that is, Walgreens is here to help you do it your way. With delivery in as little as 1 hour. Because now, things come to you. Same-day vaccination appointments. Because you're ready. And Walgreens cash rewards you can donate back to your community. The new normal? I have to admit, it does have its upside. Walgreens.
They're on a mission to save every sandwich from a boring bag of chips.